Welcome to another edition of 100% Canucks. John Shannon, Landon Ferraro is going to be along, as is Caleb Malhotra, the number one pick of the Vancouver Canucks, third overall at the recent draft in Buffalo. Caleb has just finished prospects camp with the Canucks in Abbotsford. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit about his journey and what we are doing over the summer. Well, what he's doing. I know what I'm doing. By the way, I'm in Penticton, and I'm going to be involved in the BC Hockey Hall of Fame event, which will happen Saturday as they induct 5 new people to the hall. Malcolm Ashford, Andrew Ladd, Josh Georges, Travis Green, and the Vernon Vipers of 2009 and 2010, who won the BC Junior Hockey League Championship and went on to win back-to-back Canadian junior titles. It's going to be a fun night. If you're in the area, lots of tickets available still. Don't forget to check out all the information at the Hall of Fame website at bchockeyhalloffame.com. Anyway, hope to see you Saturday. It's going to be a fun night. Today, Caleb Malhotra, as I mentioned, it's a special time when you think about father and son. It's been a great May and June for the Malhotra family, and probably a bit of a blur for everybody at the same time. Landon, Caleb, and me on this edition of 100% Canucks.
I won't keep you long. Darren Millard with a tip for everyone who loves great hockey podcasts like this one. John Shannon and I host the OG of 100% Hockey, coming your way multiple times a week. The guest list is the best you will find. Multiple shows a week ensures you won't miss out on any news, and we dig even deeper into the biggest stories around the NHL. Most of our guests are also friends, so I promise there'll be more conversation beyond the X's and the O's. John really does get bored with that after a while. So join us for 100% Hockey. The name says it all. Subscribe now while you enjoy thinking about it. And enjoy.
Welcome back to 100% Canucks. Landon and John, joined by Caleb Malhotra, a number one pick of the Canucks in the recent draft, number 3 overall. Caleb, how are you doing?
Really good. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So, first of all, how was camp this week?
It was fun. We did a lot of cool activities. We went whitewater rafting. Meeting a lot of different guys, and getting to do some skills work with the development staff was a really good experience. It's fun.
Okay, I mean the classic question. I got to ask you about the grind. How'd you do? Well,
this year we didn't do the grouse grind, but we did the Abbey grind. So it was in Abbotsford, so it was about 25 minutes, and it was still pretty tough. But we lucky enough not to do the grouse grind this year.
That is lucky. That's always nice. It's one of those where it's you don't want to do it, but you kind of want to as well, just to say you have. But
have you done it, Caleb?
I think I did it when I was 12 years old, so I don't really remember. But I remember it being hard.
Yeah, like I've said on here multiple times, I live 10 minutes from the base of it, and it's been about 10 years since I've done it. I'm over that.
Yeah, but, fair enough.
We see you in your car already. Are you already right back training and getting moving here, or what's going on for you now that you're through everything, kind of?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of right back into it. I'm starting training again. I already finished that, so now I'm actually going to go golfing here in a bit with my brothers, which is nice. And just trying to kind of have a normal summer again as much as I can. It's been really busy, but just trying to enjoy this with my family, and just kind of get back to being a normal kid.
And so you bring that up, and to that point, you've now completed your draft year. You've completed the combine, the draft, development camp. Even this short out of it, can you feel just kind of letting that go finally? And not that your work's done, it's just starting, but all that stress of the draft.
No, definitely. I honestly felt it kind of right away as I heard my name called, kind of all the stress, all that work I put in up to the combine, the actual draft, the whole year, just grinding away and just kind of waiting for the final verdict of the draft. And it felt like a long time waiting on draft day. But then once I heard my name called, looking back on it, I just went like really quick. So it's kind of just all a relief and excited to kind of know where you're going and have a kind of a set future almost.
How much do you remember of that Friday?
Yeah, I pretty much remember every bit of it, just like kind of leading up to it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like ingrained in my memory. I just remember being really nervous all morning, like kind of not eating too much. We went to skate with some youth kids in Buffalo. So that was a good activity. That was a good experience. Then I was kind of waiting all day. We got to the red carpet. That was really cool. My siblings were pumped for that. But then I just remember sitting and waiting and literally watching the clock tick down to 7 o'clock and waiting for that, the first couple picks to be announced.
Yeah, it's amazing how long you can sit there and then it goes quick for you. I'm happy how it turned out. It was so cool to be able to see, everyone obviously gets excited when they're drafted, right? It's your big dream and your goal. But for you to put on the Canuck jersey that, we all seen all the pictures and everything from when you were a kid, like there was another level of excitement that we could see out of you. Like, what does that even feel like? I got to wear my dad's jersey in St. Louis one time and it was for training camp. Like the fact that you got to do it on day one of the draft, what does that feel like?
Yeah, the only word I could find in the moment, like the kind of only word I can describe it now is it just feels right. Like, yeah, your whole life you're dreaming of this, and that's like, you obviously say like, I really don't care which team I go to. I just want to be in the NHL. But at the end of the day, that's the team I grew up cheering for, and that's the team like I've always had a soft spot in my heart for. So being able to put on that jersey just like makes it that much more special. And like, yeah, just again, it just feels right.
Did anybody drop any hints you were going to be drafted third by the Canucks? Do you think your dad knew?
No, I know for a fact he didn't. He asked to stay out of the draft process, and they made sure to keep him in the dark as well. And I had no hints, so I was just as kind of uninformed as everybody else, and just waiting to see how it unfolded. So part of me still at the draft was like a fan. Like I remember after it got drafted, just like trying to see who else got picked after me and like seeing what else was going on. But yeah, I had no idea.
I want to bring it back to your year in Chilliwack, right? So that's, your dad takes the job in Abbotsford and you're 16 and you're looking for a place to play. You end up going to Chilliwack. Was part of that Andrew Shaw, who ends up being on your dad's staff in Abbotsford, was an associate coach there the year before to help kind of get you to the right spot?
To be honest, it was kind of just a coincidence, but it was when I got there, it was a good connection and it was really helpful to be around him, have the guys kind of be familiar with him. He's obviously a great coach and got to spend a lot more time with him at development camp there, get to pick his brain a bit. But yeah, kind of how it all played out. Was just really fortunate that I was close to my dad in Abbotsford there and had some of those connections. So yeah, it was just kind of a lucky bounce.
And then, you have a pretty good year, right? Like you put up 26 points in your 44 games, but just like this year, it gets to playoffs and you end up putting up 17 points in 22 games. Was it confidence? Was it figuring it out a bit more? Or is it simply you like playing in the playoffs? Because it seems to be going your way in that sense.
Yeah, I think a bit of both. I think as a player in general, I just get better as the year goes on. I feel, more comfortable, more confident. And then, yeah, I think another part, like you said, is I just enjoy playing in playoffs. That's you're waiting all year to play in that environment, that time of year, and you finally get to, and you're in the moment, and that's all you worked for. So that's kind of where I find I play my best.
You had choices after Chilliwack, and you ended up going to the OHL. Why'd you go to the OHL and not stay in the Dub?
Well, I think coming home, playing closer to home with in the OHL was just the more appealing option for me. Obviously, I think competition was another level as well. I had a lot of talks with Brantford after they had traded for me, so I felt very comfortable with them, and I kind of had an idea of the situation I was going into and knew we were going to be a pretty good team. So that kind of really appealed to me. And then, hearing about their coaching staff and their management kind of pushed it over the edge. And I decided, I want to come play in Ontario again.
By the way, you're going to play against the owner in a couple of years.
Yeah. I got to see him a couple of times this year, but it'll be funny once I get to play against him.
That'll be great. The Malhotra-Zach Hyman matchup. We're going to have to look at that one a great deal. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
As you're playing against, you're like, I told you I wanted the better sticks. Like, this is for that now.
You didn't give me my extra gloves. What's going on?
But, so when you make that decision to go to Brantford, you're now going to go into training camp. It's your first year in the O. Was there some nervousness? Because looking at the stat line, it didn't look like it. You got off to a really, really good start.
Yeah, I think from the outside looking in, you'd kind of expect kind of a nervous, shaky camp, just trying to, solidify myself a spot. But I kind of, especially from the playoff I had the year prior, I think I had a lot of confidence in all summer. Leading up to my draft year, I think that was like my main goal. I wanted to, be a big part and like show out on such a deep team that's going on a deep run, especially my draft year. I wanted to be able to make a difference and be an elite player and take another step offensively in my game. So like that was kind of the focus all summer. I got a bit bigger, got a bit heavier, and I just worked on my skills a ton. So coming into camp, I felt like obviously it's your first camp, so you're pretty nervous regardless. But not knowing anybody, but I think I was really confident in what I'd done all summer and the work I'd put into that point.
But still, with all of that, where you feel the confidence from your summer, it's still a first year in a new league and all of it. And yet the longest you went was 3 games, 2 different times without a point. Like, where do you find that consistency?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is playing with really good players. Some of the guys I play with, like O'Brien, Van Acker, Cooper Dennis, just some of the guys I played with all year. And when you're playing with those guys, it's really helpful. But yeah, I think those guys kind of helped me take another step in my offensive game. And then that confidence and then the opportunity I got there was kind of just all I needed to take off. And I remember like the year before I would go, couple like 10 games without a point and be struggling, be frustrated and thought that was the worst feeling in the world. And then I think my expectations of myself just changed the next year. And, when I went those 3 games without points, I was incensed and like kind of just really pissed off with myself. So I think a big part of it was the standard for myself I had. And that kind of set a new bar for myself.
So how would you describe your game then? Who are you like?
Yeah, I think I try to model my game after like a Jack Eichel or a Alexander Barkov. Obviously they're guys that are built for the playoffs. You see every year they perform very well and they perform all around the puck for their teams, especially going on deep runs as they have the last couple of years. And very skilled offensively, high, like push the pace and make plays very well. And then, great sticks and good guys in the dot as well. So like, I think an all around reliable guy and someone that you want offensively, you want to take the shot to score. And you just want someone you can trust like me.
The other part of this is you go from the BC League, you go to the OHL, and the next step is off to college. That's 3 different levels in 3 different years. How much of a challenge is that? Yeah,
it's obviously a challenge. I think, part you don't really talk about is, playing with different guys each year, meeting new people, trying new connections. And you kind of get comfortable and set and kind of take off in one league and then you get ripped out into the next higher level. So I think it's kind of the exact challenge I'm looking for this year. I want to make another step in my game. And I'm looking forward and I'm going to try and have a role. Obviously we have some really good players in Boston University and some really good players coming in. So trying to look to have a big role there as well.
So how much of a consideration did you have in staying in Brantford versus going to BU?
A little bit, not much to be honest, because I had already committed to Boston University from, my first year junior. So that was always the plan.
People change their mind, Caleb. People change their mind all the time.
Yeah, I know. Playing in Brantford, it really almost did change my mind because I had so much love for that organization, for my teammates that I played there with, for the coaching staff and management, the community. It was some of the most fun and the best times I've had in junior. And if it weren't for, my commitment and like me staying with my word and going to Boston, I think probably be staying in Brantford and playing another year there because just love that place so much.
How did you settle on BU? Did you do a fly down? Did you check out a couple different schools, or did you have your mind pretty made up?
No, I mean, I think before I did fly down and check it out. I think before I kind of talked to their coaches a lot, had a bunch of interviews with them, and I kind of was kind of leaning towards them already, just hearing all the good things about their coaching staff. And obviously that was the year Celebrini was there, and talking to Aiden Celebrini at camp as well. He just had so many good things to say. And I think after visiting, it kind of solidified my decision. Just actually getting to see what it is in person. I kind of decided that was a spot for me, and it's where I wanted to take another step in my journey.
Yeah, I'm curious about back to draft. There are those of us that are old enough that remember that drafts used to be big things, 18,000 people sitting there and everybody in the hockey world on the draft floor. You guys had sofa talk. You guys were able to have your family there with you on the floor at Key Bank. What was that like?
Yeah, it was pretty special. I think it's really cool the last years how they've done it, where everyone's every GM and everybody's at their tables, but it was cool how they did it this year as well. You're sitting at that couch with your family, and everybody's watching back home. It's a big production they put on, so it feels pretty special. And it's just a really cool experience. You're on the draft floor, you see the big stage with the big board, and you're just kind of sitting there on the couch waiting. So I really enjoyed how they did it this year, and I thought that was a really good way to go about it.
I would have much preferred a couch to sit on for 4 hours that I had to go through than the little stadium seat in Montreal.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I got a question for you though. Did you get your jacket back? I never got mine back.
No,
I was devastated.
Yeah, no, I got mine back. After they took it, I just got it backstage after a couple minutes, and
muted on us, I think. But as you're saying that, as you figure it out, there we go. But
that was you.
Yep. Keep going.
Yep, keep going. I guess I realized though I just needed to be picked like 29 picks earlier, and I would have got my jacket back.
Yeah.
So you're getting into summer here. What's some of the couple main things you really want to really improve before you step into that first year NCAA?
Yeah, I think a big thing I worked out all year, and I'm going to continue working on, is my skating. Just, explosive power and just general kind of smoothness in my stride. Something I worked on the last couple of years. It's obviously, I think that's something my game needs to take another step, especially at the next level. So that's something I'll continue to work on. And then just taking my offensive game to another level. Obviously, I think I had a good year this year. Something I just want to continue to build off of and be able to show how I can produce in the NHL.
Hey, we had your dad on a couple of weeks ago, and he was pretty blunt about the delineation between dad and coach. I'd like to hear your interpretation of the difference between dad and coach.
Yeah, I think we've kind of talked about this throughout the years, and it's pretty clear cut for us. Dad and coach is dad's at the rink, or dad's at home and anywhere other than the rink. And when I'm asking for advice, I'm talking to dad, but then I got to ask for coach, and coach is at the rink. So it's been really clear for us, and through my childhood, that's just how we've kind of done it. It's just dad's first and foremost, and then I can ask for coach, and he's going to be honest and give me his opinion.
What's the most honest thing he's ever told you as a player?
Probably just told me that I'm weak, got to get in the gym. Yeah, I think that's just a classic dad thing.
Yeah, he's been saying that line for a while. He told me that 15 years ago as well.
Hey,
Did you try it? Oh, sorry, go for it.
No, I was just saying, do you remember your dad as a player at all, Caleb? Whether it was, you were pretty young when he played in Carolina and played in Montreal. Do you remember watching him play?
Not really. I just remember being on the ice with him, and I always knew he was good at draws. That's what I've always heard about him. And then actually being on the ice with him, that's kind of the thing I got to see up close. He would, ask me to drop pucks for him and other guys, and I'd just be sitting there watching him snap them back. So that's the one thing I do remember about his game.
As you're growing up, obviously he's coached you and all of that, but as you've gone through the summers and you're working on different things, how much is there you want to ask him questions, but also going to other people and getting other opinions?
Yeah, I think there's just a balance. I mean, I can pretty much talk to him about anything, but I kind of, when I need some advice on kind of what I want to improve on next couple of years, I go to him, but I also go to other people my age and, coaches, people around me that I trust in my hockey game. And I think it's just a balance of going to different people to talk about different issues.
And, other than your dad, then who's had the biggest impact on your career?
It's probably been my mom. I think that's a kind of typical answer. I mean, I've had a lot of really good coaches, but I just remember like some fond memories, like having a bad game and going in the car, kind of crying to her and like, I'm not having fun. I don't want to play hockey anymore. And this isn't for me. And then she just tells me like how there's ups and downs and you got to stick with it. And you always have fun. It's not going to be perfect every time, but at the end of the day, you do have fun. So like, she's one of the biggest reasons I'm where I am today and why I kept playing hockey.
She was a pretty good athlete herself, wasn't she?
Yeah, she could play. She played university soccer.
Just like the rest of the Nash family.
Yeah.
Those are pretty decent family barbecues to get all the different sports going, eh?
Yeah, I remember we just play soccer and stuff, and on my mom's side is unbelievable at soccer, so it's just fun to play with them. So,
again, as you're going through summer, you're going to go golf today, and it's great. You have that bit of balance in your day. What's fun for you in the off season and during the season? What do you do to get away from it a bit?
Yeah, I think especially this year with kind of a lot more attention than I've had last couple summers, and a lot more pressure and stress. I kind of just wanted to cool down, so I would just go play golf. Usually go hang out with my buddies, just get away from everything. Go on a drive, just go to the park, play pickleball. Me and my family, so that's something fun we do. But yeah, really just getting away from it all, getting in nature.
Oh yeah, no competition in the pickleball tournament.
Yeah, that gets pretty heated.
Yeah. Hey, but what's your handicap?
Oh, not great. I play bogey golf, so probably like an 18.
Oh, that's good. I might be able to beat you. That's good.
You're getting into the best profession to make sure that game keeps getting better.
Okay, I have to ask my two questions with all the young guys, otherwise Landon will be disappointed in me. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, well, okay. Oh for 1. And what's your cheat food?
Oh, cheat food. I love fried chicken sandwiches. Like when I get my opportunities, I take those all day.
Like a Nashville hot or just an original?
Anything, but I do like the spice of like a Nashville hot. So that's kind of been my go-to recently, actually.
All right, you saved yourself. John might have not even aired this podcast when you said you didn't have a dog.
Hey, so when do you go to Boston and then? What's your plan for the rest of the summer before you head to BU?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be training all summer. I head for the World Junior Summer Showcase at the end of July, end of July, and then end of August, I'm heading to Boston.
Actually, you bring up a good point, because you have bragging rights over your dad now about being drafted third versus seventh, which he was. But he's got the World Juniors on you. You better make this darn team, Caleb.
I'm trying, man. I hope I do.
That's great.
Well, I'll tell you what. Your phone's been going off the hook while we're doing this, so I understand they want to know why you're not on the tee already. So appreciate the time today, Caleb.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
And good luck as a Vancouver Canuck.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Caleb Malhotra. Landon and I'll be back after this on 100% Canucks.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded Four Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
Welcome back, 100% Canucks. All right, Landon. What'd you think?
Energetic. I mean, he's excited, right? And he has the mix of confidence, excitement, and hope in front of him, right? Like everything's sitting in front of him after a long year of the draft. Now he knows where he is. He knows he's going to be you. He just looks like a determined kid that's having a lot of fun where he's at right now. And I think that's exactly what you want to see. Someone that wants to, he just got back from development camp and he's already back in the gym. He's getting ready for the summer showcase for the World Junior team. Like, he has his schedule, he has his goals, and he's a kid that you can see wants to keep making those steps.
I couldn't help but when he was talking about trying to get back to a regular routine and just be a kid during summertime, of thinking what Braden Coots told us a couple of weeks back about how that first summer after being drafted was just a blur. So that's a fascinating part of Caleb trying to be grounded. The other aspect of this is you do have something in common with him. And that is being the son of a former NHLer, and being, your dad scored more than 400 goals in this league. Do you feel that, did you feel at the time a responsibility to uphold the Ferraro name? And do you think a guy like Caleb would have the same issue when it comes to being his father's son?
I mean, personally, yeah, I felt that pressure, and it's something I got better with as I got older, and realizing that, like, it was all internal. As much as other people talked about it, like, people are going to talk about everything, but like, it was internal. It wasn't my dad putting that pressure on me saying you got to go get 409 or you're a failure. Like, that wasn't the conversations in our house, but I wanted to be a pro hockey player so bad, and I wanted to be as good as him. I wanted to be better. And in a lot of ways, I think it hurt me in a sense that I focused so much on that instead of just being myself. My game exploded once I switched to that. But in saying that, I don't get that sense from Caleb and his dad. I think that they got to a point that took me and my dad a bit longer, into my 16, 17-year-old year, into my draft year, and even past that, a bit of figuring out where that break is of, I need, I want advice and I want help with my game, but I also need dad, right? And that took us a bit. The way that Caleb's talking, and it's different because his dad was his coach for a bit. Now he's, probably going to be his coach again. That there is that much closer to it, but the way they talk about the relationship, and they have that split of, he's dad at home, he's coach at the rink. You can ask for coach at home, but you're going to get those answers that way. Like, there's really clear lines, right? And when you have those defined, then things seem to work a lot smoother. I'd also just put it to the temperament of their family and their attitudes, right? They're a very determined, headstrong family between those two, especially. But at the same time, like, it's all about respect. Even Caleb talking about, was there a chance you go back to the OHL and back to Brantford? He's like, well, I loved it. And if I didn't commit already, I probably would have stayed, but I've committed. I've given my word. Right? Like, that's what the Canucks are talking about in high character people as well.
I'm glad he mentioned his mother, because I was going to ask him about her. But just coming from a family of elite athletes, again, you almost feel it gives you an advantage in knowing full well that the competitive level that's required to become a professional is that much greater in a family of professional athletes. When you think that, Uncle Martin was a professional soccer player, obviously Steve Nash, there's only one Steve Nash. His mom was a great athlete at UVic. So the fact that the family, and I would like to see the pickleball tournaments. I would.
That'd be amazing.
I wonder who throws the racket first is my question. I mean,
somehow those rackets would come out in better shape than they went in. Right? Like, they'd somehow, with the utmost respect, have the most amazing pickleball tournament, and the place is like spit shine when they're done.
Oh,
like,
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Hey, but it is interesting that you bring that up, though, because again, like, just from my experience of growing up with my dad, and my mom played sports when she was younger, not to the level of Caleb's mom, but everything in our house was a competition, and not on purpose. And it's funny, I've got a 2.5-year-old son now. He's not old enough to be competing in anything, and nor should he be. Yet we had 5 of his cars lined up on the floor yesterday, and I let him race them out there, and then I put a piece of hockey tape down. All right, can we get them longer? Without even trying to, I made a competition. That's just where my mind goes, and it would be the same in Caleb's family. Everything can turn into a little bit of a competition.
I know it's going to be fun to watch. Well, and the other aspect of this is, and these are the unspoken stories, is that, I mean, there's a real possibility that Caleb Malhotra will be a Canuck longer than Manny will.
Oh, I would almost say that is 100% true.
Yeah, and so you do, and I would think if when you look at guys like Porter Martone do what they did coming out of Michigan State and going to the Flyers late in the season, is it in the back of a mind of a guy like Caleb if the Canucks get close? I'm not suggesting they will, but if the Canucks get close, does he, once school ends next year, he's wearing a Canuck sweater?
Well, I mean, it's 100% believable. I would say that that's a conversation that internally in the organization they'll be having kind of all season as they do their little check-ins and their weekly and monthly reports on all their prospects. Like, that's a conversation that'll be had, just like other players that are in major junior when their year's finish. Do they bring them to Abbotsford to get that opportunity? Right? All those conversations will happen, but at the end of the day, it'll be Caleb that decides that for them. And I don't even mean him verbally deciding it.
Right.
It'll be his play. He'll either be, he's made that good step at junior at the NCAA level, and they're like, you know what? Like, he's ready. He's big enough. He's strong enough. He thinks the game well enough. Let's get him in. Right? He'll make up their mind for them.
The fascination about this year for him, to me, is World Juniors, as we talked to him about, and the Beanpot. I love the Beanpot tournament, and to be able to watch him at the Beanpot with all those other Boston area college teams, that's another life experience for somebody like him, who seems to be able to manage all of this so well for a kid that's just 18 years old.
Yeah, and it's so important that he gets in situations like that. Again, like, I can only go back to the experiences I had. The first big game I played in was U18s, and then past that was when we made the Calder playoffs the year that we won the Calder Cup, my second year pro. I didn't play in any big
That was Grand
game.
Rapids?
Grand Rapids in 2013. And like, I didn't have big games before. That was my first learning experience of going through a long playoff run and sticking with your teammates and having the belief in yourself to get through 24 playoff games on top of your full season. Like, Caleb's done that in the BC Junior League. He had a great playoff this year. Now he's going to BU. And like you said, there's a really good chance he's on that World Junior team. He's playing in the Bean Pot. Like, these are massive, high pressure games that he's gaining this experience from. That's the coolest part. Well, one of the coolest parts of this NCAA rule change that guys can go is it's just, as much as it's giving them longer development time, it's giving them all these different situations that they're able to get themselves into and see how they handle it and learn from it.
Well, and as we mentioned to him, the progression of going from the BC Junior League to the OHL and now to NCAA in 3 years. Yeah. That's an amazing growth. Going from playing with your peers to playing with men. Yeah. And that is that's why this has happened so effectively for people like Martone, Gavin McKenna. You'd have to think that that's going to be a part of it. And you're seeing all these young guys who have left junior hockey to go play that extra year of developmental hockey in the U.S. college system. It's almost replaced. It's almost bypassed and become a way to usurp. You can't go to the American League, or you have to go back to junior. So go the college route and get that year of experience playing against 23 and 24-year-olds, correct?
100%, right? And you look back at the last 15 drafts, call it 20 drafts, whatever number you want to pick, and you look at that first round, but especially the top 10, top 5. There's a number of players in there that it's the same conversation every single year. Do we keep them in the NHL or do we send them back to junior? Because it's such a massive jump between the two. And the thought of going back to junior is like, is it hard enough for them? And they always talk about dominating where you are before you move to the next level. But if your progression is moving and you need harder competition, what's the point of putting up 140 points? Or like McKenna, goes to school and gets that next challenge, right? Like, there's so many guys that could benefit from taking that time, and now they're able to do it. I think as much as we've seen the game and, the game of hockey go so much younger and so much more skilled, as crazy as it sounds, like, I think it's only going to keep exploding because of this pipeline now. It's going to look more like the NFL in a sense, where guys are coming right out of college and playing. Like, they're going to be more prepared.
A small group, not a lot of guys.
No, but I still even mean at the same time, John, like, I still think that not one and dones. Yeah, that's a smaller number of guys for sure, but guys going and skipping the American League at 22. Right? Yeah. Because they'll, like, that level of NCAA is going to continue to get better and get closer to the American League. And you're going to see more guys as they get into their third or fourth years signing out and playing right away. They're more prepared.
Yeah. By the way, I misspoke when I said that you followed your dad's footsteps once as a player. It's actually now twice.
Yeah, twice.
Which vocation did he give you the best advice? As a player or a broadcaster?
Broadcaster, 100%.
And what was that? Do you remember?
Well, honestly, I think the main thing, because, I was fresh from playing and now I'm going on TV and having to talk about good plays, but also bad plays. And how do you do that? And what he said was, as long as you can go into the room the next morning and go up to the guy and not feel bad, you're doing fine. And that was really important for me because it's a good base to have within yourself as well, because it's so easy as you You've been doing this just a couple more years than I have.
3, actually.
Oh, 3. Okay. Yeah. Just put a 0 behind it and possibly another 0. Sorry. Bad math. WHL. Sorry.
Yeah, or 100 years. So.
Oh, there you go. But, it's really easy as you continue to do this that you feel like you're saying the same thing a lot and you need to take that next jump and be more bold in what you say. But you don't have to do that. Be fair, be honest in your opinions and what you see, and you can keep moving forward. The difference as well in those between my dad as a player and giving advice and a broadcaster is we're much closer in broadcasting than we were as players. We were very different. He was really good around the front of the net, and his IQ and his little give and goes, it was really good, and his compete was through the roof. For me, I was more of a shooter from a bit more distance. I had way more speed. So, and then as I got older, I turned to a penalty killer. My dad wasn't blocking a shot. So there wasn't as much to help with at that point.
If he listens to this and he hears that you think you're faster than him, we might have some trouble. So.
Oh, well, there, let me just pile on then. If you got another 30 seconds here, the last time we ever played one-on-one, I was 13. I put it through his legs. I went around him. He went to turn and he fell. It was the last time we ever played. He was winning the game at the time, and he said he retired a champion. He knows I'm faster, but he doesn't care. He got all the goals. He's fine with that.
All right. Well, it'll be fun to watch Caleb. Hopefully he and Manny will have a long, prosperous relationship at Rogers Arena on the same bench as members of the Vancouver Canucks. Thanks for this, Landon.
Yeah, thank you.
Caleb Malhotra, our guest today on 100% Canucks. Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you next week.